Hello, today is 12/17 of 25, and I am here with a video of what I eat in a day on my keto journey. If you're new here, my name is Christy. I changed my diet to a high protein, moderate fat, low carb diet in April of 2024. It is currently about quarter to 11. I did drink my coffee at around 10. I made it with 1 cup of Fairlife whole milk, a serving of whey isolate protein powder, and a serving of collagen peptides. I also had a donut, which is from a local bakery in my area that makes gluten free, sugar free donuts. I am now making some food. We have a Christmas celebration this Saturday, and the theme is Feliz Navidad. So I plan to make a few dishes to take with us. One of them is a queso dip that I find absolutely delicious. I have made this before, but I'm just going to walk you through making it again in case maybe you didn't get that video. I will link to this recipe in the description below. I am doubling it because we're going to be with quite a few people. So, in my pot here, I have 1 pound of white American cheese that I have started melting just on low, like my lowest setting, just to kind of get it started. I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of butter. And I've got in my measuring cup here a quarter cup of heavy cream and a half cup of Fairlife whole milk. And I'm just going to continue to let this cheese melt down and kind of get blended in with the rest of these ingredients, and then I'll add some more. I've got my melty goodness all ready, so I'm just going to turn that off. I'm going to add in 1 can of diced green chilies. Now, the recipe to double it calls for 2 cans, so 8 ounces. This is only 4. But I only have 1 can. So my plan is to buy another can when I go to the grocery store tomorrow. And then when we reheat this for the party, I'll just add that other can in. And then I need 2 tablespoons of my pickled diced jalapeno. The recipe calls for a whole jalapeno that's been seeded and chopped. I don't have that. And this is just so much easier. So that's why I'm going to use this. And I think 2 tablespoons is going to equal about one jalapeno. I need just a couple seasonings. I need a quarter teaspoon of salt and a quarter teaspoon of ground cumin. And then you just mix it together and it's ready to go. It's so delicious. However, I like to add in some beef to add more protein because this is pretty much all fat. So I have 2 pounds of ground beef, 93% lean that I cooked and crumbled. I just seasoned it with salt and pepper. I actually like that better with this than like seasoned with taco seasoning. So I just season it with some salt and pepper. I will get that added in also, and we'll be good to go. We'll use I actually just eat it like a bowl, so I use a spoon to eat it. But I will also take some celery sticks with us so that we can use those as a dipper. And now I am ready for my lunch. So I have made myself up a couple of andouille sausage. This is Good and Gather brand. It's my favorite. It's got heat to it, but it doesn't like overwhelm your palate. So I really, really like that. I was gonna put I was gonna have it kind of like a deconstructed Chicago dog with like pickled onions and peppers and stuff on it. But I decided to use my carbs in a different way. So I have here a cottage cheese bowl. I made this with Good Culture full fat cottage cheese. Yay, I have some now. And then I added it's like 3/4 of a cup of, I weighed it out in grams. It's like 3/4 of a cup of blackberries. That's where I wanted to have my extra carbs rather than having it on my hot dog. And well, it's not a hot dog, on my andouille sausage. And then I'm going to have half a bag of these legendary popped protein chips, Zesty Ranch, uh, on the side. It is 1:30. I did my cycle training today, so glad to have that done. I am now getting ready to make our last meal of the day. Probably, I might have a snack later, but I'm not sure. So I have a recipe that I'm basing what I'm making off of, but I'm not following the recipe. So first of all, the recipe just calls for plain chicken breast that you then cook. But I'm going to use oven roasted diced chicken breast from Tyson. I just don't quite have the energy to cook chicken today. So I'm actually kind of thawing it out in my microwave right now. I'm going to use a pound of it uh, in my dish, and then I'll add it in. I actually am going to do some cooking, but I'll add it into my pan and kind of finish warming it there. I will link to the recipe that I'm basing this off of in the description below, just so you have it. I've got a tablespoon of butter here that I've melted in my pan. I'm going to add some thick sliced mushrooms. This is 8 ounces of baby Bella mushrooms. And I'm also going to add 2 cloves of garlic. So I'm actually going to use this pickled garlic that I have. I'm going to use 2 cloves of it and just mince it using my microplane right into my pan. Oh, it smells good already. Okay, I'm going to sprinkle a bit of salt and pepper in. And I'm just going to cook and stir these until my mushrooms are golden brown. Okay, so I've got my mushrooms all nice and browned here. I'm going to add in, I have a 1/4 cup of chicken broth and a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. And I'm going to deglaze the pan, scraping the bottom. And then I'm going to add in a tablespoon of dried parsley and 2 teaspoons of dried thyme. And then I may add more salt and pepper, but I want to taste it first to see what it might need. Yeah, it needs a little bit of salt and pepper. It tastes very like heavy cream. So I'm going to add more salt and pepper. And I'm going to add my chicken in. A big piece of chicken. Okay, I'm just going to let this cook a bit. Hopefully it'll thicken up. The sauce will thicken up a little bit for me. And then I'll give it a try. Here is my dish. It didn't get thick the way that I wanted it to, so I did sprinkle on a little bit of xanthan gum and just kind of stirred it in, and it turned out perfect. I'm also going to have with it a salad. This is just a cup of romaine lettuce, some chopped cucumber, a little bit of shredded cheese, and some wishbone fat-free dressing. That's good. Nice mushroom flavor. The sauce just gives us this unctuous coating to it. The chicken is good. I'm really impressed with this like frozen chicken product. It is really, really good. Yeah, I like this dish. I ended up with about 1,600 calories today. My protein is 191. My net carbs are 42, and my fat is 72. So right now I'm at a caloric deficit of about 300 calories. Though it's 7 o'clock, I'll probably burn at least another 100 calories, if not two. I'm gonna do some work, and I'll do that on my treadmill, just not like at zone 2 or anything like that, just a slow pace, but it'll burn a few more calories. So today was kind of a perfect day. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow.